It is sometimes really difficult on places like this that are so beautiful, so bright, and just you are enjoying the living, to think and talk about subjects that are really problematic for some artists. And when I'm reading some of the emails I'm getting, and it is such a burden sometimes what artists are having on the shoulder, and then you are in a place like this and you are confronted with all the sorrows, and it is really hard to understand why not can we live all on such a beautiful place and be free of worries and everything will work out fine. But actually I have decided that I can do something about it. I can reach out, I can help people, perhaps support or contribute some ideas, some insights, some inspiration that actually can change the sorrowful life of some artists. And perhaps you are right now not having this problem, but it could be that this idea that I will give you today will perhaps help some other actually artists. And I know I had this problem too, and it is such a burden to carry around. So just listen to what I have to contribute and support, perhaps to you if you have this problem, but if not, then I am contributing it to someone that perhaps you are knowing of and that is a creative artist, or someone that has abilities and skills that are actually creative and artistic. To make it a little bit shorter, it is the problem that artists are wondering why their artistic career is not picking up. Why is no one out there actually giving the support I am needing? Why actually is no one seeing the value I have to offer? And in this way, why I am not progressing? Why I am not profiting from my gift of creativity, of the gift that I have to offer of art? And I want to answer this in a completely different way. Of course, there are different possibilities to find an answer for this, but I want to answer this in a way that understands more, is built more on human communication. When you are looking at what successful artists are actually doing, in a way they are getting out there with what they have to offer as art, what they have to say, their value, and suddenly there are people out there who are really getting it, who are not only getting it, but they want to have a piece of it, they want to buy their art. So in a way you can understand the problem of why is not my art career picking up. You can see it as a communication problem, and the communication problem is actually that this is what not so successful artists are doing, is half of the communication. So they are getting out there, they are communicating, but they are not seeing the necessity of the other side getting what they are actually saying. So it is, when you are communicating and you are understanding communication this way, it is important what you are saying is always only half the job. When someone is out there understanding the values that you are saying, then it is a communication. And actually this is what successful artists are doing. They are actually not stopping at just making their art and saying perhaps something about the art. They are doing in a way which is understandable, perceivable through the other side of audience and the art bias. So once you are getting out of this myth that art stops with just completing the artwork and saying out loud what you have to say, that's it. No, it is a combination. It is a necessity of the other side getting it. So it is important to say it in a way that is understandable, that is approachable. And you must understand then that this communication is happening under a greater influence what is going on right now, what you would call the zeitgeist. And when the people that are communicating are having the same understanding of the world, of values, of the zeitgeist, then a communication is successful. And a successful communication is actually nothing more than the transaction in the art market, because all this is happening in a broader context, and every participant of this context, of this communication, is can understand and exchange each other under this context. So let me show you a graphic that perhaps will explain it a little bit better. Let's talk first about the position an artist is at the beginning, or an artist is having when he's starting this career. He is actually as an artist, and he has some inner ideas, inner vision, inner values, and he's making actually a claim. And this values and so on are expressed in his art, in his artwork. So it is, his art is just the expression of his inner self, what is happening with him and what he's thinking, what is right or wrong, and so on. More, if you want to put it on the negative side, it is the direct expression of his ego in the worst possible case. And then his art buyer has to be someone that loves this self-representation, that loves this artist's ego, and it is just focusing on this person, what is going on in this person, and he's buying this value of the artwork because he's interested in it, what this artist is thinking, how he's feeling, and it has perhaps less to do with him as an art buyer, but it's just a piece of another person. It is just like let's say like listen to the radio, even if you are not interested in what is actually going on as the radio play, or what the radio transmitter, what the radio content maker has to say. It is just something that's happening, and perhaps you like the voice, or you like the whatever it is, you are liking it, but it has nothing so much to do. So you have to be a real fan of this voice, of this radio stations, to love it and to invest your time and perhaps money in it. And in the end, you are making out of their art buyer, this is the audience, and the art buyer only a receiver, someone who can perhaps, it is up to him if he can actually do something with this value, if he or she can see a value of it, and then this art buyer, this art admirer, should feed again, should contribute the money to the artist, who then actually can produce another piece of art. So it is a just one-sided circle, and in the beginning is the artist and his ego, what he's thinking and what he has to say. And of course this is something that is working and can actually work very well. There are so self-centered artists who are so emotionally overwhelming that actually people can get behind it, even if they are not really interested in the context, or the art has no context at all. It can actually work, but this is not where actually the artistic success is happening. And that's why I have this second graphic here. It is showing you that actually all the participants of this exchange of art are standing under the influence of the zeitgeist. There are certain values, there are certain topics, certain ideas who are overarching our whole life. It can be something that is really recent, like let's say the political troubles we are right now, but it can be about the struggle of women, or how to be a man. Bigger ideas that are reaching far beyond our century, that are coming over and over perhaps in art. So there are some common ideas, and certain people are like under the umbrella of a certain idea, or under the certain zeitgeist, and they are interested in the communication about this certain ideas. And then comes artist is actually someone who is a contemporary witness, that is witnessing as a human being these bigger ideas, and he's expressing this bigger ideas in his artwork. So the perhaps sometimes abstract ideas, the perhaps unseen movement in our zeitgeist are getting materialized. They are becoming something that can be seen, understandable, can be debatable, and that a communication can start because something has manifested. It is not perhaps the best manifestation of this idea, of this vision that is bigger, but it is a manifestation. And then the art itself becomes an expression about this higher ideas, these higher values, and people are automatically drawn to these artworks because they are seeing something that resonates with them, because they have also this bigger ideas, this visions, this ideology perhaps on their mind, and suddenly they are seeing a materialization expression of this, so they want to get know more about this. They are magnetically drawn to this manifestation of those values. And the art market around this artwork is also something that is actually helping, as well as the audience who are interested in this topic, as the artists who are actually the producer of this topic, to get together, to be the best possible platform to exchange ideas, to exchange values, and also in a way make profit out of it. And all this cycle is feeding also back to the artist. He is not just someone who is having these ideas and they are expressing this kind of perhaps egoistic ideas, but he's in a part of an exchange process, because all this way his artwork has expressed it. Then there was an audience who discussed it, perhaps there was an art critic expressing something about it, and the art dealer has brought his own ideas, and all this is trickling down back to the artist, and then the artist is also gaining inspiration from this outside. So the ideas are not just only his point of view, but they are representing also the real world out there, and then it is a combination, a fusion of it, and this is expressed again in new artworks, and it is going back to the circle. But this circle is getting richer and richer, because the artist himself is not the only source who is feeding the art. It is a fusion. It is expressing more about our time, our condition, this perhaps bigger ideas, and what they mean into our world. And this kind of circle is so much more about the artist as a human in a specific time period, and thinking and speaking out loud about what is happening now, how are those values, how are those higher ideas have a context in our life. And this context is then discussed through the exchange of the market. And in this way, this cycle is so much richer, and by richer, of course, it has so much more to do more with profit, because when we are useful in such a way to the broader discussion about bigger ideas, what is going on and so on, you have more value. You are then the authority about those values, and you are becoming not only important, but you are becoming necessary to this exchange, to this communication. And when you are necessary, of course, you are then more successful. It is just one idea how you can think about it. It has nothing to do just going out there, picking an idea that you are perhaps not connected to, that is just popular, and then you are starting doing artworks about it. This most likely it will not work, because most likely you will not stay motivated to ideas who are not part of your vision. It is more important, and this is also what I am suggesting, to sit down and to write down what are the values of your art, what your art is all about, what are the highest ideas of your art, your artistic vision, and then to look what part of this values, higher ideas are already out there as a part of our contemporary thinking, of our zeitgeist, and what are the people who are already talking about this content, and then get involved with this, in this communication with your contribution as an artist, and you will find out you will be most likely welcomed with open arms, because you are bringing in a fresher view of something on something that is really valuable to those people. So I hope this is answering the question a little bit. All it takes is to get rid of the myth that art only can be about yourself, and this expression of the ego is so important. I think by switching in thinking how to support, how to communicate, and how not to make the communication only one-sided is the best way forward. You can try it out, and it's starting with writing what is important to you and finding the people who are also thinking this content is important, and then to get in communication with them. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, see you soon. Bye bye.